Hello everyone, how you doing today? This is LDJ11 Gaming and I'm going to do a quick mock draft. It's just something I enjoy doing and I do watch a little bit of film on these guys. I'm learning more each time that I do it, but I enjoy mock drafts, so I'm going to throw them up on the channel every now and then, especially come draft season. So this is my first one. I'll do one more the night before the draft, probably maybe release it that morning. So at number one overall, the Carolina Panthers are going to go Bryce Young. I think he's the best quarterback in the class, so I think it makes the most sense for him to go at number one. Now, the size is a real concern with him, as everybody says, and I do worry that long term he won't be able to hold up, but it just makes a lot of sense for the Panthers to go out and get the best guy who's ready to play right now. At number two, the Houston Texans. I keep hearing how they're not going to take a quarterback. However, I just don't believe it. So I'm going to go ahead and put CJ Stroud here at number two. In my opinion, he's the third best quarterback in this class. He's more pro ready than Anthony Richardson, but in my opinion, Richardson is the second best quarterback in this class just because he has sky high potential. I do believe that some of the issues at Florida, now I am a Gators fan, were the players around him, but is going to be ultimately able to become a better pro than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud will be a better pro on day one, I guarantee that, but if Richardson reaches his ceiling and Stroud reaches his, Richardson could be a Hall of Famer, and I think Stroud could be a really good quarterback. But that's just my opinion. So at number three, the Cardinals are going to go ahead and do Will Anderson here at number three. At number three, the Colts are actually going to go Will Levis. And I think the reason they're going to do that is because I've heard from multiple different people. I listen to all sorts of podcasts and I read all sorts of stuff that the Colts really like Will Levis. So I'm going to stick him at number four. At five, the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock and they're going to draft Jalen Carter, the best defensive player in the draft. If they can get past the off-field stuff, he will be a fantastic player. The Lions are on the board, and I'm going to give him Devin Witherspoon because I think he'll fit their culture a little bit better, just because he's tough, and that's really what Dan Campbell likes. At seven, the Raiders are on the clock, and with the Raiders, I really do want to give them Anthony Richardson, but I think they're going to build up their O-line. They're going to get Peter Skronsky, who's the best O-lineman in the draft. Not necessarily the best tackle, but the best O-lineman. Atlanta Falcons are on the clock, and they're going to go ahead and draft Tyree Wilson. I think they could use edge help. He gives them a chance to help them out and maybe build their team. You know, everybody knows the order, but the Carolina Panthers traded their pick to the Chicago Bears, and I think the Bears with this pick are going to go ahead and draft. Maybe this is a surprise, but I'm going to do Darnell Wright just because I think they need more of a right tackle than a left tackle because their left tackle played well last year even though he was a late pick. So at number 10, the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock, and I'm going to have them draft Lucas Van Ness. I think he could step in and learn and develop within their system and get better, which is something I do think he could use. At number 11, Anthony Richardson's not going to get past the Titans. That's my opinion. Although to me it doesn't make sense that they would take him just because of the fact that they have a guy similar to him and Malik Willis on the roster, and Vrabel does not appear to be interested in trying to teach him. So I don't know that it's the best fit, but that's what I'm going to do. At 12, the Houston Texans are on the clock, and they are actually going to go ahead and get JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think that he's a good receiver, and I think that when you get a young quarterback, you want to pair him with a young receiver. So at 13, the New York Jets are on the clock. I have them going Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia. I think that he has a lot of upside. The Jets need somebody who can stay healthy at tackle. Hopefully that can become him. At 14, Patriots are going to draft Christian Gonzalez. Now, Gonzalez probably won't last this long in draft, but in this situation he did. And I'm a Patriots fan. I would love to see them get some offensive help, but if there's a guy like Christian Gonzalez on the board, you got to take him. Now, 15 is going to be a shocker. Dalton Kincaid's going to go to the Packers. I think that they just need a weapon, and I think Kincaid could be a better weapon than Quentin Johnston, so that's why I went with Kincaid. At 16, the Washington football team, or Commanders nowadays, are on the clock, and they are going to go ahead and draft cornerback Deonte Banks out of Maryland. At 17, the Steelers are on the clock, and this right here is kind of a tough situation for me. I think that everybody wants them to go Joey Porter Jr. I just don't know that they are going to go ahead and do that. I'm personally going to go ahead and give them Kalijah Cansey. I think they could use some D-line help. Their D-linemen are starting to get a little older, so I think a guy like Kalijah Cansey could come in. He's not like a Tyson Alualu or a Cam Hayward, but he could come in, learn from them guys, and develop into, I think, a pretty good role for the Steelers and stay in Pittsburgh. At 18, the Lions are on the board. Now, this is kind of a tough thing for me. I think that if you just look at the board, I could see them maybe thinking a tight end like Michael Mayer, but ultimately, I think I'm going to go ahead and give them more edge help, and I'm going to give them Nolan Smith. I'm not sure where to put him. He's kind of a weird player, but I think Nolan Smith's going to come in. They can just get some edge help. They already have pretty good edge rushers, but you can't have too much depth. Look at the Eagles last year. Now, the Bucs are on the clock, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need a lot of help. I am a ticket holder for Tampa Bay, so they're also one of my favorite teams. I root for them every week. I go to Ray J. So I've seen a lot of Buccaneers football live, and I really think they need a help across the O-line. So I'm going to give them Paris Johnson Jr. to open it up. They do need a quarterback, but I'd rather see them try the young guys out. They drafted Trask in the second round. Give them a shot. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Oh well. We didn't have a good year. Truthfully, I'm not sure how good this team's going to be this year anyway. At 20, the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock, and I'm going to go ahead and go interior O-line, and I'm going to go with my interior number one, and that's O'Cyrus Torrence. I've seen him play for the Gators this year in person and also on TV every week, and I've watched some of his film. I've been able to find a few things that are more of a better view than just TV version. And I tell you what, that man's a beast. He's got a solid base. He's big. He's strong. I think a team like Seattle could use a lineman like that on the interior. So at 21, the Chargers are on the clock, and I am going to actually have them go wide receiver, and I'm going to give them Zay Flowers. I think he adds a different dimension that they don't already have on the team. At 22, the Ravens are going to go Quentin Johnston. I think they could use a bigger guy who has some speed. They tend to always go for these small receivers, and I don't really understand it. So I think he could be a nice addition to the Ravens. Now, everybody wants to mock Hendon Hooker to the Vikings at 23. Just due to his age and coming off a knee injury, I can't mock him this high. I could understand if the Vikings dropped back with the Chiefs or something to 31 and took a chance at him, but I just don't think I would do it here if I was Minnesota. But we're going to take a look around because I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to give them yet. This is actually kind of a tough one. Tanner McKee, he's way too high. Minnesota has a history for going after corners. I'm going to have them draft Joey Porter Jr. I think if he falls here, they could use him and try to develop him and help out that defense. At 24, the Jaguars are on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and add Brian Branch. As I said, I listen to a lot of podcasts and different things like that, and I know that Bucky Brooks, who covers the Jaguars, thinks that he'd be a perfect fit for the Jaguars, so I'm going to go ahead and mock him here. At 25, the Giants, I'm going to give them Joe Tippmann, the center from Wisconsin. Not everybody's going to love that pick, but I think he's a great player, and I think the Giants really need to shore up that part of their offense. Plus, I think you can get a receiver later in the draft. At 26, the Cowboys, I don't think he lasts this long, but I'm going to give him Bijan Robinson. I just don't know where to mock him, being that he's a running back. He has the potential to be a Hall of Famer. He is fantastic. However, they just don't value them the way they used to, so I don't know where he's going to end up. So at 27, the Bills are on the clock. And for Buffalo, I'm going to go ahead and give them Jack Campbell. Maybe it's a little early for him, but I think they need somebody to fill in after losing Tremaine Edmonds to the Bears. And I think Campbell working with Luke Kuechly just adds a connection. And so the Bills will get good, solid information. So we're going to say it went positively, and he's going to be the pick. At 28, the Bengals are on the clock. Now, the Bengals, they could honestly maybe use some tackle help, or maybe somebody on the interior of the O-line. They seem like they still need to improve there. And, they did lose Jesse Bates, but I just don't see a safety other than Brian Branch worth picking in the first round. So for them, I'm going to go ahead and give them tight end Michael Mayer. I think he's kind of the best do-it-all. He's more of that master of none but jack of all trades type, which could be bad, could be good. We're going to go with that pick here at 28. At 29, the Saints are on the clock. And for them, maybe this isn't popular, but I'm going to give them Adebawore out of Northwestern. He's similar size to Cam Jordan, and I think he would fit into their defense and be able to learn from him. So I'm going to go Adebawore, and I think he could bulk up a little bit and move into that role effectively. At number 30, the Eagles are on the clock. Now, with their first pick, as you've seen, they went Lucas Van Ness. The Eagles are known for taking basically D linemen and offensive linemen in the first round. That's how they build their team, and that's what they like to do. So for me, I've strongly considered giving them tackle Anton Harrison, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So Anton Harrison goes to the Eagles. And at pick 31, the Saints, the final pick of the first round, I'm going to give them Felix Anudike-Uzomah. I think he's going to be able to develop and help out the Chiefs. They need to replace Frank Clark, and I think an explosive long player like Felix Anudike-Uzomah could come in and do that. So thank you for listening to my mock draft and watching it. I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe. This is LDJ11. I'm out.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it.